My brother stole my job, so I exposed him, took his clients, and let my parents watch him burn. I didn't realize I was handing over my livelihood until it was already gone. I worked for our family's company, small, tight-knit, and supposedly built on trust. My dad started it 30 years ago, and for the last 7, I was the operations manager. I poured everything into it. Missed holidays, canceled vacations, even pulled an all-nighter while my wife was in early labor with our son. That company was my second home. 3 months ago, my younger brother, Jason, suddenly showed up. No warning. "I just want to learn the ropes," he said casually, sipping the office coffee like he owned the place. "Dad thinks I should see how the business works from the ground up." I was surprised. Jason had always avoided the company like the plague. He bounced from job to job, lived off loans and favors, and only ever came around when he needed money. But I wanted to be supportive. We're family, right? So I showed him everything. Every system, every vendor connection, how I handled payroll, scheduling, client relations. Hell, I even gave him my spreadsheets. Dad was beaming. "Jason's really growing up," he told me one day. "You're a good brother for helping him." Then 2 weeks ago, I was called into the conference room. My dad stone-faced, Jason sitting beside him, not meeting my eyes. "We're restructuring," my dad said. "It's time to bring in some fresh leadership." I laughed, thought it was a joke. "Wait, are you firing me? We're letting you go. It's nothing personal. It's just business." I looked at Jason. He flinched, but said nothing. "Who's taking over operations?" My dad paused. Then Jason finally looked up. "I am." I don't remember much after that. I walked out numb, packed my things in silence while Jason stood at the door and muttered, "I didn't ask for this." But he took it. My job, my office, my team. My wife cried when I told her. My son, he's only 4, asked if I'd been bad at work. What makes it worse? I found out Jason had been talking to my dad for months, feeding him lines about how I was burned out, not adapting, and holding the company back with old systems. He used everything I taught him to paint me as obsolete. He didn't want to learn. He wanted to replace me. The family dinners have been tense. Mom says I should get over it and support Jason in his new role. My dad hasn't called once, not even to check how I'm doing, and Jason, he sent me a text last week. "Hope there's no hard feelings. This is just how business works. Still love you, bro." I didn't respond. I started freelancing, consulting for a rival firm. They actually listen to me, respect my time. I'm rebuilding, slowly, but the betrayal, it still burns. Not because I lost a job, because I lost a family I thought I could trust. Then came a call from Mom. I lost my job, my office, and whatever relationship I had with my family. They acted like it was nothing. My mom told me to be proud. My dad didn't say a damn word. But here's what they didn't count on. I didn't need them. I took a month to be pissed, to mourn, to cry in my car and drink too much cheap whiskey. But then I got to work. When I was fired from the family business and replaced by my own brother, the one I trained, I didn't scream or argue. I walked out quietly. My dad called it a strategic decision. My mom told me to be the bigger man. 6 months ago, Jason took my job. Today, he's begging my parents for help while I sign contracts with clients he couldn't keep. It took 6 months, but I got my revenge. The best part, I never raised my voice. I didn't call him out. I didn't even speak to him. I just won. If you haven't read part 1, the short version, I worked for my family's business for years. Busted my ass, ran the day-to-day, turned the place around. Then my younger brother Jason showed up just to learn, and 2 weeks later I was fired, replaced by the same guy I trained. Turns out Jason had been whispering to our dad behind my back, saying I was burned out, not evolving. Bad, exactly that. I spent the first few weeks doing nothing but feeling hollow. I built that company, gutted it from the inside and rebuilt it with systems, clients, processes. Jason showed up for 2 weeks and walked off with the title and my future, or so they thought. Then I started making calls. Vendors who liked me, clients who'd only ever worked with me, even a couple of former coworkers who knew the truth. I didn't have to lie, exaggerate, or spin anything. I just told people what had happened. Most of them replied the same way. "That's bull's asterisk. Let us know where you land." I landed better. By month 4, I had a functioning business with real traction. It wasn't big yet, but it was mine. What shocked me was how many clients left my family's business to work with me. Some sent parting emails directly to my dad, saying things like, "We came for your son, not your name." My mom texted after the first few clients left, "You're hurting your brother. Don't stoop to this level." I didn't reply. She hadn't texted me once when I was crying on my porch jobless. But what really broke through the denial, the disaster dinner. My parents hosted a family dinner to rebuild. I wasn't planning to go until I got a message from one of my old clients. "Your brother sent us the wrong invoice again. Second time this month. Can we talk?" That was the fourth complaint I'd heard that week. So I went to dinner, sat down, stayed quiet while Jason bragged about growth and expansion, all while my mom smiled proudly like she couldn't see the cracks in his teeth. Halfway through the meal, my dad turned to me and said, "Jason says you've been undercutting him. That true?" I laughed. Then I pulled out my phone. First, I showed him an email from a former client, his favorite one, saying they'd left because Jason missed 3 meetings and botched a delivery. Then another message from a vendor who dropped the company after Jason changed payment terms without notice. Then, just for good measure, I read a message out loud from a former employee who quit because Jason screamed at her in a meeting, then denied it ever happened. My mom looked like someone slapped her. Jason stammered, "That's not how it happened. He's twisting it." I looked at my dad and said, "You wanted fresh leadership. This is what it looks like." Then I left. 3 weeks later, my mom called, voice shaking. "Your father wants to talk. He's disappointed in how things are going. He didn't know Jason wasn't ready." I told her the truth. "You chose not to know. That's worse. Jason still has the title, but the company, it's hemorrhaging. Their clients are mine. Their vendors prefer me. Their staff wants out. I didn't just bounce back. I built something better, from scratch. And now my parents are watching the golden child fumble the bag they handed him on a silver platter." Revenge didn't come in a big explosion. It came in missed deadlines, lost clients, and long silences at the dinner table. And honestly, I sleep like a baby. The dinner was just the beginning. 3 weeks after I walked out, my mom called again. This time, she didn't sound angry. She sounded tired, like someone trying to hold a house together while it's already on fire. "Your dad wants to meet," she said. "Just talk." I almost said no, but curiosity got the better of me. We met at his office, not the family business. He'd quietly stepped back, probably realizing Jason was in over his head. He didn't shake my hand when I walked in, just stared at me for a long second before sitting down. Then he said it, "I think I made a mistake." I didn't respond. I let the silence do the work. He kept talking. Said clients were leaving faster than they could replace them. Said vendors were raising prices because Jason keeps shifting terms last minute. Said staff morale was low. Said even the accountant quit. "He's trying," my dad muttered, "but he's not built for this." No apology, just a quiet admission that the crown they gave him was too heavy. Then came the pitch. "We want to bring you back. Not full-time, not formally. Just consult, stabilize things. Jason will still run the show, but..." I laughed. I couldn't help it. "You want me to fix it without touching it," I said. "That's not how this works." He didn't push, just nodded slowly like he already knew my answer. I left without agreeing to anything. Over the next few months, I didn't say much, but I saw everything. Former coworkers kept messaging me, asking if I was hearing. One even sent me a photo of the whiteboard in the office. Q3 goals, scribbled with crossed out numbers and desperate arrows. One client forwarded me a mass email Jason sent, full of excuses and typos. And then came the tipping point. A longtime vendor, one of our first, called me personally. "Jason tried to renegotiate again. We're out," he said. "But if you ever expand, we'll come with you. You're the one we trusted anyway." That was the moment I realized something. I didn't need revenge. I had momentum. Jason was chasing my shadow while I built something real, something solid. He inherited a legacy. I earned loyalty. Last month, my mom called again. "I know you said no, but things are worse now. We're not sure the business can survive another quarter like this. Can we talk?" I paused for a long time. Then I said, "I'll think about it. But this time, I don't come in as your son. I come in as the man who fixed what your favorite broke." The line went quiet. I don't know what'll happen next. Maybe I take over. Maybe I let it crash. All I know is, they underestimated the quiet one. And now they're learning what happens when the underestimated stop waiting for validation and start building empires. I didn't plan on walking into that building again. Not after how they pushed me out. Not after they handed everything I built to someone who thought leadership came with a nameplate. But after my mom called again, practically begging for help, I agreed to one thing. I'll stop by 1 hour, observation only. That was the deal. When I showed up, the receptionist who I hired, by the way, did a double take. "Oh hey, it's been a while," she said, eyes lighting up. "Everyone's been talking about you." I smiled. She didn't need to say more. The walls talk, and apparently they'd been whispering. Jason didn't know I was coming. That was intentional. He was in the conference room, packing, red-faced, holding a client file upside down while 2 employees looked like they wanted to disappear. He looked up, froze. "Oh," he said, "didn't know you were, I raised a hand. "Just here to observe, keep doing your thing." He nodded stiffly and sat down, but he didn't speak for the next 10 minutes, just stared at his notes like they might save him. They wouldn't. I walked the halls quietly, just listening. The mood heavy, like people were waiting for a storm to pass that never ended. I peeked into the bullpen, 2 empty desks. "Turnover, been rough," someone whispered. "We're on our 3rd operations manager this year." By the end of the hour, I'd seen enough. Before I left, Jason pulled me aside, alone. "You here to gloat?" he snapped. "Come see the mess and feel better about yourself." I looked him dead in the eye. "No, I'm here to see if it's salvageable." That shut him up. He took a breath. "Look, I didn't expect it to be this hard." "You thought the hard part was getting the title," I said. "Turns out the hard part is earning it." He didn't reply, just looked at the floor. And in that moment I saw it. Not anger, not jealousy, fear. Jason wasn't just overwhelmed. He was drowning, and he knew I was the only one who could throw him a rope. 2 days later, my dad sent a formal email, consulting offer, 6 months, full control of operations. No title, no politics, just power where it mattered. I haven't replied, not yet, because now I have a choice. Walk away and let them learn the final lesson the hard way. Step in, not for them, but for the people still inside who deserve better. Or take the whole damn company for myself. One thing for sure, Jason might have taken my job, but now I'm deciding his future. My dad's email sat in my inbox for 2 days. 6-month consulting contract. No title, no ownership, just enough control to clean up the mess, then walk away quietly again. I almost laughed. They still didn't get it. They didn't want me back. They wanted a cleanup crew in disguise. And Jason, he wanted someone to blame when the ship finally sank. So I wrote my reply carefully. No emotion, no bitterness, just facts. Subject, consulting proposal. Message, thanks for the offer. I'm open to conversation, but only under the following terms. I don't consult, I lead. I come back with full operational control, reporting to no one. I want equity, not temporary power, real ownership, 30%. Jason steps aside. No title, no veto power, no oversight. If those terms don't work for you, no hard feelings. You can keep doing what you're doing or not. But if you want this business to survive, you already know who built it the first time. I hit send. No emoji, just a bullet point ultimatum they never saw coming. 2 hours later, my mom called. "You're asking for too much," she said, her voice trembling. "No," I said. "I'm asking for exactly what it's worth to fix what you broke." She was quiet. Then she whispered, "Your father considering it." The next day, I got a call from Jason. I almost didn't answer. "You want to erase me," he snapped. "After everything, after all I've done." I let the silence sit before I replied. "You erased me 6 months ago. I'm just correcting the paperwork." He hung up. "Here, what you need to know. They haven't officially accepted my terms yet, but every day they don't, more clients leave, more employees quit, more cracks appear. And me, I'm scaling, hearing, growing. I don't need their business, but they need me. And that's the difference between taking power and being handed it." The day after I sent my counteroffer to my parents, I got an unexpected email. Subject line, "We've been watching your moves." It was from a competitor, one of the big ones, the kind we used to chase, the kind my dad always said we'd never be big enough to sit next to. They'd seen the client list I'd built, heard about the people leaving my family's company and landing with me, watched me build a reputation without a brand name, just results. And now, they wanted to acquire, not the family business, mine. The message was simple. "We're impressed by what you've built in 6 months. We're expanding, and you've done in half a year what most can't do in 2. We'd love to talk about bringing you and your client base into our firm, with a leadership role, equity, and the freedom to scale under our umbrella." Translation, they saw the fire I'd built and wanted to pour gasoline on it. So now I had a choice. Option 1, go back, take over the company I built once before, fix what Jason destroyed. Deal with the politics, the family tension, the ghosts. Option 2. Sell my company, get paid well, and run a division 10 times bigger than the one they kicked me out of. No baggage, no brother, no games. Guess which one I picked? I didn't answer right away. I sent a short text to my mom. I appreciate the offer, but another one came in. Bigger, smarter, cleaner. I'm not coming home. I'm building a new one. Jason called one last time. You think this is a win? He snapped. You think walking away makes you strong? You could have come back. You could have helped me. I stayed quiet for a moment. Then I said, helping you was never the problem. Being betrayed by you was. He didn't respond. He just hung up. The deal closed 2 weeks later. I signed the contract in an office overlooking a skyline my father once called out of our league. As of this week, my business is now part of something global. My role, Vice President of Strategy. My old clients still with me. My team thriving. My family still asking where it all went wrong. The truth, it went wrong the moment they forgot who built the house they handed my brother the keys to. Revenge wasn't loud. It didn't come with yelling or lawsuits or drama. It came quietly, through contracts, through poached clients, through deals made in rooms they were never invited to. Jason took my job. I took everything else. And in the end, I didn't just rebuild what I lost. I built something no one can take from me again.